All right, so welcome back to Cast Me If You Can. This week, we're gonna, take a look at something a little different. You guys know, we like to keep things interesting here.
Always up for a challenge.
Exactly, exactly. And, a bunch of you have been asking about this upcoming film, 28 years later.
Oh, yeah, that's been generating a lot of buzz, hasn't
It's
it?
huge buzz. And honestly, like, for good reason, I mean, it's been what, 23 years since 28 Days Later just, like, blew everyone away.
2002.
Yeah.
That film really did redefine the whole zombie or, well, infected genre.
Right. Infected. And now, like, we're getting, well, not a direct sequel, but a continuation years later. And, the original director, Danny Boyle, and the writer, Alex Garland, are back.
Talk about a dream team reunion. I mean, that alone has got to get people excited.
Oh, absolutely. It's, like, huge. So we're going to dive into all of that. What we know about the story so far, the kind of, like, legacy this film is stepping into, and, what the fans are saying.
Buckle up, folks, because we're going deep.
Oh, yeah. So first things first, right? 28 years later. Like, the title itself is kind of a statement, isn't it?
It's not subtle, is it? We're talking a full generation later. This isn't just picking up where we left off. It's a whole new world shaped by the events of the original.
And, I mean, we don't have a ton of plot details, but we can, like, sort of read between the lines.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. 28 years after the rage virus. This is long-term survival. It's got to be about how society has or hasn't adapted, right? The psychological impact, the scars.
And the infected, like, are they still out there? Have they changed?
That's a huge question. Has the virus evolved? Have the survivors found any kind of immunity? Or is it just this constant threat hanging over everything?
It makes you wonder what kind of, like, daily life even looks like in this world,
It's got to be grim. I mean, think about the original film. The breakdown of order, the violence. What happens after nearly 30 years of that? Do you rebuild? Can you?
Man. It's a heavy thought, and from what we're hearing, it sounds like the tone of this film is going to be a lot like that first one, that gritty, almost documentary style.
Very intense, atmospheric. A lot of people have said they're expecting something closer to the original 28 Days Later than the sequel, 28 Weeks Later.
Which, makes sense. 28 Weeks Later, it was good, don't get me wrong, but it was much more like action heavy.
More of a traditional blockbuster kind of feel.
Yeah.
Big explosions, lots of running.
Right. This one, it sounds like it's going to be more about that, like, chilling emptiness, the dread, the quiet moments where you're, like, waiting for something to jump out at you.
It's a different kind of horror, isn't it? It's psychological. It gets under your skin.
Oh, for sure. And speaking of getting under your skin, Cillian Murphy is back, at least as an executive producer.
Which is interesting, right? I mean, he was the heart of that first film, Jim. His story was our way into that whole nightmare.
Exactly. And there are, like, rumors that he might even have a cameo.
Fingers crossed. It would be amazing to see what happened to Jim after all these years.
Right. Like, how has he survived? What's he seen? And then there's a whole trilogy thing.
Oh, yeah. They're not just stopping with this one film. It's planned as the start of a whole new trilogy.
Which is ambitious. And I gotta say, a little intimidating. Like, what kind of story are they going to tell across 3 films?
Well, think about the themes we've already touched on. Memory. Trauma, how societies rebuild or don't. Maybe we see the virus itself evolve.
Or even, like, spread to other parts of the world. I mean, if this is 28 years later, it's got to have gone beyond just Britain, right?
It's a global story now. And with 3 films, they have the space to explore all those angles.
It's going to be wild. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we got to talk about the legacy, right? I mean, 28 Days Later, that film was huge. Critics loved it.
Critics, audiences, everyone. It revitalized the zombie genre, like genuinely changed things.
Yeah, I remember reading this review. It was in The Guardian by Peter Bradshaw. He said, "A tough, terrifying fantasy that breathes new life into the moribund zombie genre." Like, that sums it up.
It was fresh. It was scary. It felt real. And that's what people responded to.
It wasn't just the, like, gore and the violence. It was the story, the characters, the whole atmosphere that Boyle created.
And the way it captured those anxieties we were all feeling post 9/11. That sense of the world being on the brink of collapse.
Totally. Like, it tapped into something primal. And James Berardinelli, from Real Views, he called it one of the best horror films of the new century. Lean, mean, skillfully directed, and ferocious.
Ferocious. It's a
Yeah.
great word for it. It had this energy, this urgency that was so different from the slow, lumbering zombies we were used to.
Right. Like these infected, they were fast, they were relentless, and that made it so much scarier.
It changed the whole dynamic of survival horror. It wasn't just about outsmarting the undead anymore. It was about outrunning them.
Yeah, it was like pure adrenaline. And then, of course, we got 28 weeks later.
Which, had its moments. It was definitely entertaining.
Oh, yeah, the action was great, but it didn't quite reach the same heights as the first one,
It felt more like a traditional action movie, maybe. A little less nuanced, a little less thoughtful.
And the reviews reflected that, I think. 28 days later, it's got like an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, 85% from the audience. 28 weeks later, it's more like 72%, 67% from the audience.
Which is still good, but it shows you the difference. The first film, it really connected with people on a deeper level.
It left a mark. And that's why I think there's so much anticipation for 28 years later, right? People want to see if Boyle and Garland can recapture that magic.
And the fans, they've been waiting for this for years. The online communities are buzzing with theories.
Oh, yeah. I was just checking out the Reddit forum. Our 28 days later, it's like exploding with speculation. And the 28 days later wiki, it's basically an encyclopedia for the whole franchise.
It's amazing the level of detail these fans go into. They've thought about everything. What happened to Jim, what the world looks like now, how the virus might have evolved.
And then there's the new cast, right? Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Ralph Fiennes. Like, those are some serious names.
It's exciting. Makes you wonder what kind of characters they'll be playing. Are they survivors? Are they part of some new society? Are they villains?
So many possibilities. And then, like, the fact that this is just the first film in a trilogy, that's a lot of story to tell.
It's ambitious.
Yeah.
But I think if anyone can pull it off, it's Boyle and Garland. They've got the vision, and now they've got the resources.
Speaking of resources, apparently the budget for this film is significantly bigger than the first two.
Which makes sense. I mean, a story of this scale, it needs that kind of backing, more elaborate sets, maybe even better special effects.
And, it's been a long time since the last film. Technology has come a long way. I can't wait to see what they do visually.
Oh, me neither. And the fact that they're filming in the UK, going back to those familiar locations, it's going to be visually stunning, I bet.
For sure. And let's not forget, the original 28 Days Later, it wasn't just a great film, it was influential. Like, it changed the whole zombie genre.
It set a new standard. The fast zombies, the gritty realism, that sense of constant danger, you see its influence everywhere.
In films like the Dawn of the Dead remake, in video games like Left 4 Dead, even in TV shows like The Walking Dead, there are elements of 28 Days Later in there.
It changed how we thought about zombies. And it also launched Cillian Murphy's career, let's be honest.
Absolutely. He was fantastic in that film. And Boyle's direction, the way he used those empty London streets, it was iconic.
Haunting. Beautiful in a way. It captured the emptiness, the loneliness of that world.
And the themes, right. Societal collapse, human nature in crisis. Those are still relevant today, maybe even more so.
It's a film that stays with you. It makes you think. And that's what makes it so special.
So, with 28 years later, they have a big challenge ahead of them. To honor that legacy, but also to do something new.
It's a high bar. But I have faith in Boyle and Garland. They're smart filmmakers. They understand what made the original work.
So there you have it. Everything we know about 28 years later. A lot to be excited about, right?
A lot to be terrified about, too.
Oh, for sure. But that's the best kind of horror, isn't it? The kind that sticks with you.
The kind that makes you think. The kind that maybe even changes how you see the world.
Well said. So what are your thoughts? What are you hoping to see in 28 years later? Let us know in the comments.
And maybe revisit the first two films. Get yourself prepped for this new chapter.
Yeah, immerse yourself in that world. It's a wild ride. And that's all for this week's Cast Me If You Can. Join us next time for another mind-blowing movie breakdown.